we're going to look here at some of the advanced settings on how the heat management works in the NIBE S-series heat pumps. This mechanism is about the same in the older F-series as well. It uses the same principles. NIBE use a concept called degree minutes to average out the temperature. So rather than having a set point where you're trying to just get the room to 18 degrees, there's an averaging mechanism which turns the heat pump on at the right time to keep the house at a constant temperature all the time. Now, to show you how that works, if you pull down from the top, or in the F-series, I think you go to the status menu, then you'll see here all the different parameters that are present in the heat pump. I'm going to go on this symbol here, which is the heating information, and there's a couple of temperatures going on here. So there's the external supply temperature, BT25. That, by external, that means a pipe outside the heat pump. So that's the temperature of the water that's actually flowing around the radiators now. The return temperature is the temperature of the water coming back from the radiators to the heat pump. And the calculated supply temperature is the temperature that's read from the heat curve. So if you're not sure what a heat curve is, check out the other video, that'll get you the heat up to speed with that. But the heat curve is saying, okay, at this outside temperature, 4 degrees, we think that the water temperature flowing around these radiators should be 33.4. Now, in order to get that 33.4, what the controller does is once a minute, it does the formula of taking the actual achieved temperature, this 39.8, and then it takes away the supply temperature, it calculates the difference between them, which is 33.3. So in this instance, there's going to be, 6.5 degrees difference between them. Every minute it does that sum, and then that 6.5 degrees difference is added to the degree minutes total. So basically every minute in this scenario will be gaining 6.5 degree minutes. When the degree minutes get to 0, the heat pump will stop working, and then when they drop down to -60, the heat pump will start working. And the heat pump will never come on any other time. So one of the first things to check if you're wondering why your heat pump's not coming on yet, if you have a look at this degree minutes value, if that's above -60, the heat pump just thinks it's not time to come on yet. And if that's the problem that you're facing, then there's probably a problem with the heat curve, and you need to increase the heat curve. So that's a bit about how degree minutes work. To see what the heat pump's actually doing, if you go into the compressor here, it'll say here operating priority. In this case, we're heating. That's because our degree minutes are above -60, so the compressor is actually working on extracting heat from the air outside and bringing it into the office. And our current compressor frequency is 35 Hertz. That means 35 times a second it's compressing and expanding the gas to get the heat to move. So they'll go up to 90 Hertz as the heat pump running full tilt, and generally running at lower frequencies uses less energy, and that's what the controller's trying to do. And then we've got there again the supply and return temperatures, which are the temperatures of the water flowing around the radiators, and the speed of the pump, which is pumping them round, and the controller does a load of maths to work out what pump speed is needed to get the difference between the flow and return to be correct. And then you can also see what's going on with the pump. External heating medium pump, that is the fancy name for the pump that's moving the water around the radiators, and we can see that's on, happy days. And the charge pump is the one that's moving the water between the heat pump and the internal system, and it's speed controlled and it's running at 39% at the moment, which is good because we don't want to be running full tilt, we want to be running at a reasonable rate to not use too much energy. So that's a bit of a deep dive into how degree minutes work. Very rarely well understood, and I hope you've enjoyed that and it's useful in setting up your house, but feel free to check out some of our other videos on heat pump setup.